everyone, and welcome. We're diving deep into the Paris AI Summit today.
Ooh, yeah.
It's a big one, right? Kind of setting the stage for the future of AI. And we've got this super interesting article from the Indian Express
Okay,
as our main source here.
cool.
And get this, there's a twist. China's DeepSeek model is shaking things up.
Oh, wow.
So buckle up. It's going to be a fascinating ride.
Sounds good.
All right, so can you give us a quick rundown of what the Paris AI Summit is all about?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Paris AI Summit, it's all about, I guess, setting the stage for, like you said, the future of AI.
Right.
And they're focusing on three major goals.
Okay.
One is making sure that AI is, safe and reliable
Yeah.
for everyone.
Makes sense.
The second is encouraging eco-friendly AI development
Oh, interesting.
because, these models take a lot of energy to train.
Right.
And then the third one is all about creating some kind of effective global governance for AI.
Okay, so big picture stuff,
Yeah.
but what are they actually talking about at the summit?
Right, so they've broken it down into five main themes.
Okay.
Public service AI,
Mm-hmm.
the future of work,
Yeah.
innovation and culture, through AI,
Hmm.
building trust in AI systems, and of course, global AI governance, like we talked about.
Got it.
They're really trying to cover it all.
It sounds pretty comprehensive.
Yeah.
What's the end goal? What are they hoping to get out of all of this?
So one of the big things they're looking at is setting up a foundation for AI for the public good,
Oh, cool.
especially focused on the needs of the global south.
Global South.
Yeah, you're going to hear that term more and more.
Okay.
It refers to developing nations in like Latin America, Asia, Africa,
Yep.
Oceania.
Got it. Got it.
So they're recognizing that AI needs to benefit everyone, not just, a select few.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, how does this Paris summit compare to the previous ones? Weren't there other AI summits before this?
You're right, there have been.
Right.
The first one was in Bletchley back in 2023. That one was all about those doomsday AI scenarios.
Right.
The whole AI taking over the world thing.
With robots.
Exactly, haha. And it ended with 25 countries signing the Bletchley Declaration on AI safety.
Interesting.
Then last year, in Seoul,
Okay.
the focus shifted a bit more towards transparency and AI development.
Makes sense.
And we saw 16 major AI companies making voluntary commitments
Oh, wow.
to be more open about their work.
Okay, so it seems like the conversation is evolving,
Definitely.
moving away from AI destroying the world to, figuring out how to use it for good.
Yeah, exactly.
But you mentioned China's DeepSeek model earlier
Right.
and how it's kind of shaking things up a bit.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting.
Ooh, I like interesting.
DeepSeek is this new AI model developed by a Chinese AI lab.
Okay.
And it's turning heads for a couple of reasons.
All right, I'm listening.
First, it's performing just as well as some models from OpenAI.
OpenAI. The ChatGPT people.
Yeah, exactly. But here's the thing. It was trained for a fraction of the cost.
Really?
We're talking like $6 million compared to
Wow.
the massive amounts that OpenAI usually spends.
That's a huge difference. How are they doing that?
Well, they're not relying on the most advanced top-of-the-line hardware, which, is often subject to sanctions and stuff.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's pretty impressive that they're getting these great results
Yeah.
with more accessible technology.
Very cool.
But here's the real kicker. DeepSeek is open source,
Open source.
unlike OpenAI's models.
Okay, so for someone like me who's not a tech whiz,
Yeah.
what does open source actually mean?
Basically, it means that developers all over the world
Okay.
can access DeepSeek's technology and they can build on it.
Yeah.
It's like a recipe that everyone can use
Oh, I get it.
and modify to create their own dishes.
So it's like a blueprint that anyone can use to
Exactly.
build their own AI kind of.
Yep. And this could really challenge OpenAI's position as the leader in the AI field.
Wow, so a potential shakeup is brewing.
Potentially, yeah.
Speaking of big players, who else is attending this summit?
Oh, the attendance list is pretty impressive.
I bet.
You've got U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance there.
Oh, really?
It's his first official trip abroad, actually,
Hmm.
which shows how seriously the U.S. is taking this.
Yeah.
And of course, you've got all the tech giants,
Right.
OpenAI CEO Sam Altman,
Uh-huh.
Microsoft President Brad Smith, Google CEO Sundar Pichai.
All the big names.
They're all watching very closely,
They want to see which way the wind's blowing.
Exactly.
And then you have China's special envoy, Vice Premier Zhang Guoqing.
Yeah, so it's clear that China is taking this very seriously as well.
Wow, it sounds like a high-stakes game of AI chess.
It kind of is.
But if DeepSeek is as, impactful as you say,
Yeah.
how does this benefit countries beyond the U.S.? You mentioned France earlier.
Yeah.
What's their take on this?
So DeepSeek's success it's a real eye-opener.
Yeah.
It shows that you don't need, like, top-of-the-line hardware or tons of money
Right.
to develop a strong AI model.
That's interesting.
And this is great news for countries like France,
Okay.
who have their own AI model called Mistral.
Mistral, I've heard of that.
They're not alone either.
Oh.
Other nations with, more limited resources are now seeing a path
I see.
to join the AI revolution.
So DeepSeek's like a beacon of hope,
You could say that.
showing that, the AI field doesn't have to be dominated by
Yeah.
just a few powerful players.
Exactly.
That's pretty inspiring.
It is.
And this brings us to another key player, India.
Right.
They seem to be, really paying attention to what's happening with DeepSeek.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now I'm really curious.
Yeah.
How is DeepSeek influencing India's approach to AI development?
Well, it seems like DeepSeek has been a bit of a wake-up call for India.
Oh.
They've been, kind of hesitant about building their own foundational AI model.
Interesting.
But DeepSeek's success has shown them that it's not only possible,
Right.
but maybe even essential
Essential.
if they want to be a major player in the AI space.
So they're realizing they need to, step up their AI game?
Yeah, they're taking some big steps.
Like what?
Well, the Indian government has chosen 10 companies
Okay.
to provide over 18,000 GPUs.
GPUs. Remind me what those are again.
Right, those are those, specialized computer processors.
Right. The things that are essential for developing these models.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's actually way more than their initial goal
Oh, wow.
of 10,000 GPUs under the India AI mission.
So they're going all in.
It seems like it.
They're also planning to build their own large language model,
Yes, an LLM.
which is designed specifically for India's needs.
Exactly, for India's unique needs and challenges.
So they're not just trying to catch up.
Mhm.
They're aiming to create something unique for themselves.
Yeah.
What's the timeline for all of this?
So their IT minister, Ashwini Vaishnaw, is aiming to have
Okay.
a world-class Indian AI model ready in just 4 to 8 months.
Wow, that's ambitious.
Very.
How are they planning to fund all of this?
Well, they're looking at different approaches,
Okay.
including direct financial support from the government
Uh-huh.
and also, investing in promising AI models.
It's clear that India is serious about this.
Absolutely.
It's amazing how DeepSeek is like this catalyst
Yeah,
for AI development around the globe.
that's fascinating to watch.
It is.
Yeah.
But with all this progress,
Wow.
what about the concerns surrounding AI?
Right.
Like privacy and, who owns what when AI creates things?
Oh, absolutely.
Who's keeping an eye on all of that?
Well, those are crucial questions.
They are.
And as AI evolves, so do the ethical and legal considerations.
Right.
We're seeing a range of responses globally,
Okay.
with different countries taking different approaches.
Can you give us some examples?
Sure. So the European Union, which is known for its, strong regulations,
Right.
they're taking a very cautious approach.
Makes sense.
They're proposing this framework
Okay.
that categorizes AI systems based on their potential impact
Impact on what?
on fundamental rights
Right.
and safety.
So the higher the risk, the stricter the rule.
Exactly.
Yeah, gotcha.
So AI applications in, areas like law enforcement
Yeah.
or healthcare,
Yeah.
where the stakes are very high,
Right. Of course.
those would face much stricter regulations.
Compared to AI used for entertainment or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
What about the UK? You mentioned earlier that they have more of a hands-off approach.
Yeah. The UK is all about encouraging innovation,
Right.
and they want to avoid what they see as, overly burdensome regulations
Interesting.
that could stifle the growth of the AI industry.
So they're kind of taking a chance,
In a way, yeah.
hoping that everything will work out for the best.
Yeah, they're trying to create a very flexible environment that can adapt as AI technology rapidly develops.
Interesting. So we have the EU on one side,
Uh-huh.
the UK on the other.
Yep.
Where does the US fall in all of this?
The U.S. is somewhere in between,
Oh, okay.
leaning towards, I'd say, a more balanced approach.
All right.
They're trying to figure out how existing laws and regulations can apply to AI,
Makes sense.
but they're also exploring, the possibility of new AI-specific legislation.
There's a bit of a hybrid approach.
Yeah. You could say
Trying
that.
to find that sweet spot
Mhm.
between promoting innovation and protecting people.
Exactly.
And then you have China, of course,
Right.
another major player in the AI space. What's
Absolutely.
their approach?
So they're developing their own set of regulations
Okay.
focused on what they call responsible AI development.
Interesting.
They're particularly concerned about data privacy and security.
That makes sense given their, overall approach to digital governance.
Right.
They've implemented measures to control how data flows within and outside of China. It's exactly.
This is all incredibly insightful.
Yeah, it's a complex landscape.
It is.
For sure.
We've covered so much ground
I
already.
know, right?
From the Paris AI Summit's goals to DeepSeek's emergence and its global ripple effects.
It's fascinating.
Before we get even deeper into this fascinating world,
Yeah.
let's take a quick pause.
Okay.
We'll be right back to continue our deep dive, so don't go anywhere.
Sounds good.
And we're back. Still diving deep into the AI world and
Yeah.
all the stuff happening around the Paris AI Summit.
It's a lot to unpack.
It is. We were talking about how different countries are approaching AI regulation,
Right.
and it seems like there's no one-size-fits-all solution.
Yeah, it really is a global puzzle, isn't it?
It is a puzzle that we need to solve together.
Exactly.
Because AI, it doesn't stop at borders.
Nope.
What happens in one part of the world can really have ripple effects everywhere else.
Definitely.
So let's zoom in on some of those specific concerns around AI.
We touched on privacy before the break.
Yeah.
Can you break down why AI and privacy are such a hot topic?
Well, think about how AI systems actually work.
Okay.
They need a ton of data
Data, right?
to function effectively.
Uh-huh.
And this data can include things like
Yeah.
your browsing history,
Okay.
your location data, even
Yeah.
your social media interactions.
So basically, our digital footprint.
Exactly. It's all fuel for the AI engine.
The more data AI has,
Yeah.
the smarter it gets, basically.
That's the idea.
Right.
But this raises some big questions about how this data is being collected,
Okay.
stored, and used.
Yeah, who has access to it?
Exactly.
Are they using it responsibly? Are they protecting our privacy?
All these things we need to be thinking about.
It's kind of scary when you think about it.
It can be, yeah.
Because if our data is being used to train these AI systems,
Right.
we need to make sure it's not being misused.
Absolutely.
We need to have, some control over how it's used.
You do. That's why strong privacy laws are so important.
Makes sense.
They can help ensure that our data is handled responsibly
Right.
and that we have a say in how it's used.
It's all about finding that balance, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Between AI advancement and protecting our own rights.
Exactly.
Now, let's talk about AI bias.
Okay.
This is something we hear a lot about these days.
Would you?
Can you explain what it is and why it's such a big concern?
Sure. So AI bias is basically when an AI system
Okay.
consistently produces unfair or discriminatory outcomes
Very fair.
towards certain groups of people.
Right, I've heard of this.
And this can happen if the data used to train the AI
Yeah.
is itself biased.
Oh, so it's like garbage in, garbage out.
Kind of, yeah. It's like teaching a child bad habits.
The AI learns from the data it's given.
Exactly.
If the data is flawed, the AI will be flawed too.
That's the risk.
So for example,
Yeah.
imagine an AI system used for hiring
Okay.
that was trained on data from a company with a history of, let's say, gender discrimination.
Right.
The AI might unknowingly learn to favor male candidates
It could.
over female candidates just because that's what the data shows.
Exactly. It perpetuates existing inequalities.
It's a scary thought.
It is, yeah. That's why it's so important to use diverse data
Diverse data.
and representative data to train these systems.
And make sure that the
Yeah.
algorithms themselves are designed fairly.
Absolutely. You have to double-check your work, so to speak.
It's like building a house.
Yeah.
If you use bad materials and don't follow the blueprints, the whole structure could be unstable.
That's a great analogy.
Thankfully, there's a lot of research happening
There is.
to try and create more fair AI systems.
Yeah. A lot of smart people working on this.
That's good to hear.
It is.
Let's move on to another big concern, intellectual property rights.
Okay.
How is AI changing the game in this area?
Well, AI is creating some fascinating legal challenges
Yeah.
when it comes to intellectual property.
Like what?
Well, for example, if an AI system creates a piece of art
Okay.
or music, who owns the copyright?
That's a good question.
The person who created the AI, the person who prompted the AI.
Or, does the AI itself have any claim?
Right. It's uncharted territory.
Wow, that's really complex.
It is.
I can see this being a headache for
Oh,
lawyers.
yeah. And these questions are only going to get more complicated.
As AI gets more sophisticated.
Exactly. As AI becomes capable of creating even more complex
Right.
and original
It
works.
seems like our current legal frameworks
Uh-huh.
are struggling to keep up.
They are, yeah.
So I might need a whole new set of
You
rules.
might. It's something to think about.
It's exciting, but also a little bit scary.
It is. It's like the Wild West out there.
Everyone's trying to figure out where the boundaries are.
Yeah, we need careful discussions,
Mm-hmm.
thoughtful policy making to ensure that,
Yeah.
innovation is balanced with fairness.
Right. And protecting creators' rights.
Exactly. We can't stifle creativity,
Yep.
but we also need to make sure everyone is playing by the rules.
Absolutely. This deep dive has really, opened my eyes to the complexities of the AI world.
It is complex.
It's clear that we need to stay informed
We do.
and engaged in these discussions.
Absolutely.
Before we wrap things up,
Yeah.
let's take another quick pause
Sounds good.
to gather our thoughts. We'll be back shortly to finish our exploration
Okay.
of this incredible and ever-evolving landscape. Stay with us. We are back and ready for the final part of our AI deep dive.
All right.
We've covered so much, from the Paris AI Summit's goals
Yeah.
to China's DeepSeek model and all those regulatory challenges.
It's been a whirlwind.
It has. AI is changing everything, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's touching every part of our lives.
Yeah, and it's only going to get, well,
More intense.
yeah, more intense. So
Yeah.
let's step back for a second. What are some of the key takeaways from all this?
Well, I think one of the big things is how the conversation around AI is changing.
Oh,
We're moving past the hype and fear.
the robots taking over.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that too.
Okay.
And we're starting to have these more, nuanced, pragmatic discussions
Makes sense.
about how to actually govern AI and
Yeah.
develop it responsibly.
It's like we're finally realizing AI isn't just science fiction.
Right. It's a real force.
It's shaping our world, whether we like it or not.
Exactly.
And the Paris AI Summit is a good example of that.
Yeah, they're tackling the tough questions head on.
Bringing everyone to the table.
Exactly. Trying to figure this out together.
And it's not just governments and big tech, right? We talked about DeepSeek being open source.
Yeah.
That's empowering other countries like India.
Yeah. They're building their own AI capabilities now.
It's like AI is becoming more democratized
I'd say so. You don't need to be a superpower anymore.
to be a part of this AI revolution.
Exactly.
It's pretty exciting.
It is. It opens up so many possibilities.
But with all this possibility comes, well, some risks.
Okay.
We talked about privacy, bias, intellectual property.
Yeah, a lot to think about.
A lot to grapple with, for sure.
There are no easy answers, are there?
Nope. We're all figuring this out together
That's right.
as we go.
Yeah.
But staying informed, staying engaged,
That's key.
that's the most important thing, right?
I think so. Got to keep asking those tough questions.
We can't just let technology dictate our future.
Nope. We have to shape it.
We have to be active in creating the kind of AI-powered world we want to live in.
Couldn't agree more. This has been a great deep dive.
It has.
Really explored the complexities of AI,
The challenges, the opportunities.
the hopes and fears.
It's an incredible technology.
It is.
And we're just at the beginning of this journey.
That's right.
AI is going to keep evolving, and we need to keep learning and adapting
Absolutely.
and working together to make sure AI benefits everyone.
That's the goal.
So, to our listeners out there, imagine a world where AI isn't just a tool, but a partner,
A collaborator.
helping us solve the world's biggest problems.
Now, that's a future worth working towards.
It is. What role will you play in shaping that future? Thanks for listening, everyone, and stay curious.